Alright guys, I'm back again. Now what I thought we'd look at tonight is another Atari Lynx video, mainly because the conversion one I did a couple of days ago has turned out to be really popular, a lot more popular than I was expecting. So I thought, we'll have a look at some more games and you can see that it really is a great little system. Real tragedy that obviously it's pretty much a footnote in the handheld history, seeing that Nintendo has basically dominated the scene so well. But at the end of the day, while it didn't have much third-party support, it had some absolutely sensational home ports. We've already looked at 5, but here's another 5, which, while they're not up to par with the ones we saw, are still really good and just prove what a great little handheld it was. Anyway, I hope you enjoy it. Okay then, so this is Joust. It's by Shadowsoft and they've done a cracking good conversion with it. They've also did Robotron, which we'll be taking a look at the moment, but this part I'll focus on this at the beginning. In case you didn't know, Joust is obviously it's a very simple game, but as with many of the old games, it's the simple mechanics that make for the most compelling experiences. All you need to do is basically fly above the buzzards on your flying ostrich, I kid you not, and basically knock them out of the sky before they manage to do the same to you. Knock the knights off their buzzards and you'll basically be able to pick up these eggs, and if you leave it too long they'll basically hatch into another knight and it'll continue. Catch all the eggs to basically complete the wave. Obviously as the game progresses it gets tougher and tougher and tougher. Now one of the things that's great about Joust, and is somewhat ironic for the Lynx, is that it is the perfect game to play on the move, simply because it's got this great pick up and play gameplay. If you're not very good at it, games don't take too long to complete. So it's just perfect for gaming on the go, and it's rather ironic that unless you had a battery pack on you the size of a space station, you were unlikely to get more than an hour's battery life out of your machine anyway, which pretty much killed it, along with poor third-party support. Real shame, because even now I get a real buzz out of playing these games, and the video I put together the other day, it shows that there's so many people who just aren't aware of what the machine could do. Yeah, this is a fairly simple looking game compared to some of the other ones I'm going to show you, but it's bloody fun, and as always it was a cracking conversion by Shadowsoft. So on to Robotron 2084, as many readers will know. Readers of Retro Gamer that is. I'm a huge fan of this game in the arcades, and this is a pretty damn good conversion of the game. What they've done to get around the original control scheme, which featured 2 drill pads, one to move and one to fire. You're always firing all the time in this, and you basically use the 2 fire buttons on the Lynx to basically change the direction. Granted, it's not the best way to do it, but considering the limitations of the machine, it's pretty good. As you can see, it's slightly slow paced here compared to the arcade original, but that's more down to the Lynx's processor more than anything else. And all things aside, there's still a hell of a lot going on. It certainly plays well enough. You never feel cheated by the controls. It's never too hard to work out where you need to go, and it's a great little conversion. Again, it's by Shadowsoft, and it's a shame that they really didn't get to flex their muscles and that the machine was pulled out quickly, because who knows what they could have done with some of the if they'd been allowed to make more games. They only made a few, unfortunately. Right, this is obviously what I always put in for arcade games, DAS, in case you didn't know. And let's crack on to the next game, which I do believe is Toki. Wasn't a huge fan of this in the arcades. It's quite good, but this Lynx conversion is great. Again, there's a slight slow pace to it, but just look at it. I mean, the graphics are phenomenally good. This basically pisses all over the other home versions of the game. Sorry guys, but it's true. It's just really, really good. Great graphics, great sound, surprisingly accurate to the arcade. A lot of the home versions, in particular the 8-bit ones, were vastly different, I do believe, to the original arcade game. Yeah, it's bloody hard. It's not really doing anything you've not seen in any other platformer, but it's really polished, and there's not really a lot of choice on the Lynx when it comes to platform run and gun type games. So if you are a fan of the genre, this is definitely well worth picking up. As you can see here, a nice big mid-level boss has just come in from nowhere. He's fairly tricky. Don't be surprised if I end up dying in a minute. But again, it's a great conversion, really nice, competent conversion of an arcade game. You know, who knows what would have happened if we'd seen arcade titles from other third parties on the machine, but pretty much everything that was available is mainly by Atari. There are a few changes every now and then, as we're going to be seeing in a minute with Ninja Gaiden, but all in all, it's a pity really, because there's some great stuff on it. So let's just get this guy out of the way. See, I know what I'm doing now. I'm taking out the guys at the top. And then we're going to get to the top of this, climb up here, and look, it's powered by two little monkeys, minding their own business. So twat him, take him out, there we go, and on with the show. Pick up a power up, but fun game, goes for about a tenner, so if you do see it, pick it up, you shouldn't be too disappointed. Now this is nice, this is Rampage, and it's the first game in the series to feature 4-player support. And the original arcade game had 3, so they get around this by including a new monster called Larry the Rat. And there he is in the bottom left-hand corner. So hello Larry. Yeah, there you are. How you doing? I'm going to go with Lizzie though, because she's my personal favourite. They get around the problems with the Lynx's small screen by basically making everything a lot bigger than it was in the arcade. So it takes a little while to get used to, because obviously those humans are like, you know, they're pretty much monsters themselves. But it was really the only way that they could basically maintain the same cartoony animation that worked so well in the arcades. And obviously the arcade original was done by Bally Midway, so this is another third-party game that wasn't actually Atari's. It's really, really nice. Obviously you can see the facial expressions are really well done, the visuals are nice, the music isn't great, but then that was never a strong point of the Atari Lynx anyway. And if you could find 3 friends with the game, you could basically have a 4-player link-up, which I've actually managed to do, and it's surprisingly good fun. This tends to go for around 15 quid, 20 quid if you want a box copy. You can obviously get it a lot cheaper if you're just happy with the chart, but it's definitely worth picking up if you like it. Now this is the last game, and this is Ninja Gaiden, or Shadow Warriors as it was known in UK arcades. Very, very good conversion. Again, slightly sluggish due to the processor, but you know, look at what they're doing here. I mean, this is really, really nice. You know, compared to I think the Amiga and ST versions were pretty good, but you look at all the other home conversions around, including the NES one, which was a completely different game. Can't hold a candle to this. This is another really nice little conversion. And one of the nicest things about it is that you can get it for around £5 now, so definitely worth picking up. In fact, I might even have a spare copy that I can probably fling to somebody if they want it. But no, great little game. There's basically the 2 buttons. One basically does all your punching and kicking. The other one takes care of your jumping, and if you time it correctly you can throw the guys just like you could in the arcade. I think you might see one of my dodgy throws with a loopy sound effect coming up in a minute. You could obviously interact with the scenery, jump off, so there you go, there's a throw. You could interact with the scenery, jump off stuff, grab onto bars. They've done a really, really good job with it. Interestingly, Ninja Gaiden 3 came out, and that was basically a take on the NES version. But they skipped the second game completely. I can't remember exactly why that was, possibly due to low sales, or possibly because the third game was maybe picked up by another publisher. But you know, five sprites going on here, no slowdown other than what you've got originally. You know, this is a really, really good little conversion. Definitely worth picking up if you like the series. Anyway, that's it for the arcade stuff, so hopefully more from me very, very soon. Watch this space.